Donald, you're a Scottish conductor who works mostly in the United States and in Germany. But you have this incredible affinity for, and I believe, success with French music. Where does this Gallic connection come from?
Well, I believe in prehistoric times. The Scots and the French had a little bit of the je ne sais quoi. There really was a great alliance between these countries. These, for me, are just miraculous sound worlds. For me, I feel, for instance, in the program with the Daphnis and Chloé, I feel as if when that music begins, I could reach out and I would watch my arm to disappear in this sound world. You know, all of a sudden, I'm in it. There's a third dimension to this music where I feel this visceral connection. It is something where you feel you're drawn into a sound world. There's a third dimension available to us in that music, which I cherish, and I've programmed it a lot. And I feel very blessed to be able to perform that, and blessed too when I go and guest with other orchestras that they ask for French repertoire from a Scot.
You really do take it with you everywhere.
I do.
I see your guest programs, and you love bringing French music to Australia and throughout Europe
Exactly,
and
and
to
of
the
course.
States. Mozart died at 35. He was never old, but he did get mature as a composer. And the late piano concertos, I think, really show this maturity. I find myself, when I listen to the late concertos and the late symphonies, imagining myself as a 35-year-old and being pretty posthumously disappointed in that. What do you feel about your life as a musician at 35 when you think of what he was doing at that time?
I genuinely believe, Jeff, that there are human beings who are born mature, who are born, these are old spirits. When I think of myself at 35, you know, everything of importance is probably in the next 30 years. I do genuinely think that it's as if they're mouthpieces for something greater, and they come on this earth. They don't know that they're for a short while, but they already begin in such a mature way. It's extraordinary.
The composers who die so young, I feel like did so they could live forever. And the slow movement of this concerto, number 23, is famous because of how gorgeous it is. And I do think it is kind of a peek into the beyond, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I think, to your point, it's a little like a Marilyn Monroe. She remains immortal and young. And because she died at the age, and that's the age at which we remember her. Similar to Schubert, similar to Mozart, they are eternally young. And the music, for that reason, also remains eternally young, but at the same time, it is the music that lives for eternity, and it's perfection. And it's a remarkable thing, isn't it, to think that there was ever a blank piece of manuscript paper, and this young composer, Mozart, sat down and started writing his A major piano concerto. You feel as if these works were scanned, that somehow they came in their entirety. He made no changes.
Handed down from Olympus or something.
Yes, you know, like the Michelangelo.
Yeah.
This feeling of press here.
Yes.
And just the entire work is just on the paper, and we know because people had observed this, that he would just sit down and he would write a piece out. It was all in his head, like this printer, and it's unbelievable.
Donald, I want to talk to you about the Alex Turley commission that we're premiering this year, world premiering this year. It's a piece that you asked him to write for us. It's called The Ocean's Dream of Itself. It's a song cycle. And I mention that in particular because it's the second time in the last 3 years that you've commissioned a song cycle from a living composer that you believe in. I'm sensing a pattern here. Are song cycles, bringing them into the world, is that something that you want to be part of your legacy as a music director?
I would say it's become so. It didn't start that way, Jeff. With Karin's wonderful song cycle, Karin Rustum, and when we experienced that in the Walk Festival Hall, there was something really hauntingly beautiful about it. And that led me to think, well, in choosing song cycles for great singers, there are not, as you know, we talk about programming a great deal, there are not that many orchestral song cycles. You think of Wesendonck, you think of Nuit d'été, you think of Mahler, And that's where I thought, well, for goodness sake, let's where we can, let's approach the most talented composers. Alex Turley is a young Australian composer whose music I performed for the first time a couple of years ago in Sydney. And it made such an impression on me and such an impression on the orchestra, which is also not, as you know, a given. And I approached him. I was so impressed by what he did, and I was so impressed by the lyricism with which he wrote. And I approached him about a song cycle, and then of course we approached Sasha Cook, who said yes. And through that we will now, in the month of August, add another song cycle to, it's not a large repertoire, but I have every confidence it will be a song cycle that will be heard in many, many concert halls around the world.
It's not a large repertoire, but watch this space. There might be more coming down the pike. The beat goes on.
The beat goes on.